Well, it is remarkable when you've got a club like Tottenham. How can they be about to get relegated? Think about it. Even with the players they have now, how can they be down there? But I can't see them win another game this season.
Well, it's got that way. Like, they've always sold their best players, haven't they? You can go Gareth Bale, you can go back as far as you like, Kyle Walker, Rose. They've sold all their best, Modric. And they've sold Harry Kane. And they finished 5th, I think, the first season. Scored enough goals between them. And it's been a decline since. Last year, finishing 17th. Like, you wouldn't believe it, would you? But saying that,
but the
2 wins.
Who picked the guy, Tudor? Who picked him to come in and keep Tottenham up?
Well, I'm not going to blame him.
It's beyond me.
I'm not going to blame him at all. He's had 3 games. Like, maybe he's just found out that the players aren't very good. Has he had 3 games or more? But what's he supposed to do? You go in. I've done it. You took over a team that's struggling. Most of the time you take over a struggling team. And everybody seems to take it for granted now that you get a bounce from the new manager. It's a different voice. The players who haven't been playing get a game. But you need to cross your fingers. Like you put Spurs out on the pitch, you need a bit of luck as well. I can't blame him for what. Thomas Frank maybe let the thing run away, but is he shopping in Waitrose? He's in Lidl's buying players as well. So
well, you've got the old shouted Levy out. He's gone. So I believe now it's Joe Lewis's family, his kids, who are picking the side along with the director of sport, and it's just garbage at the moment. They've got to. Is it too late? I don't know. I hope it's not too late.
They've got a load of injuries, Al. They've got a load of injuries. I know, like, no...
Everyone has, though, do you know?
But you know what? I would say, after managing myself, I would say one of the biggest reasons you get sacked from your job is your best players get injured for a long time.
But what about... So, Van der Ven gets sent off. They equalise Palace. What about the goal right on half-time? That is just shocking defending. Well, shocking, garbage defending. And he's blaming the goalie's blaming him.
Yeah, well, he played Polinia, didn't he, as right side of a 3, and Polinia just looked lost. He's not a centre-back. He got destroyed playing right side centre-back. And then he played, Porro played right side of a 3.
Yeah, he was having a go at the goalie.
So if you want to criticise Tudor, he has sort of put players in positions that they don't normally play, which... Probably, but it's still difficult. 3 games, what are you supposed to do?
Plenty of big football games to cover over the next few nights. And one of those is for Tottenham, who have been in the headlines for all the wrong reasons this past few weeks, with the club at serious risk of relegation from the Premier. They've only had 2 wins in all competitions since the turn of the year. Can you believe it? But get this, they both come in the Champions League. Interim boss Igor Tudor is still yet to get a tune out of the Spurs side and take charge of his first Champions League game with the club tonight. It's not easy. They head to Atletico Madrid.
I agree. Both things, as I said, focus on us. We are playing against a team who has a story in this Champions League. So they have experience, they have quality. We need to do our best in terms that we need to grow. You know, as you said also, because our first aim is Premier League, and this need to be said also publicly. It's a normal thing. This is something extra, but that don't mean that we don't want to pass. We don't want to go in next round.
Listen, I don't know Igor Tudor, but I wish him well. I really do, because you look at him on the touchline, his face is tripping now, isn't it? He's really not enjoying it. Delighted to say John is now a man who had his first-hand experience in the Champions League with Spurs, been part of a team that ran all the way to the quarterfinals of the tournament back in 2011, also represented Newcastle United. It's a very, very good morning to former Spurs defender Sébastien Bassong. Sébastien, good morning.
Morning, Sébastien.
Good morning, Alan. Good morning, chaps.
Sébastien, it's fascinating tonight, isn't it? Newcastle, all the excitement, Barcelona going to the tune, and Spurs heading over to Spain in terrible form. Not in Europe, but in Premier League form, terrible form. How do we see tonight's game over in Spain for Tottenham? Can they come away with something?
They have to come away with something. And what I mean by something is not necessarily a win. I mean, a win would be amazing, but I think it's more about what they put in it. It's the content, the way, the regain of confidence that for me I'm looking for. They're in an emergency situation. They have to find a quick blueprint, a quick formula in order for them to make the most out of this Champions League campaign, in order to put it in the Premier League. Because don't get me wrong, the Premier League is the bread and butter. This is the most important thing. If you can use the Champions League with all the magnitude of the Champions League being, use it accordingly in order to serve you for the Premier.
Yeah. Sebastian, do you think there is a leader in the dressing room and on the pitch now that, we need something, especially Premier League? We need a result. We're not going to the Championship. Is there someone in there vocal who's leading by example, saying, come on?
I think that they got a couple of leaders. Leadership is influence. Right now, in this particular moment of time, they need somebody that can really step up and not be shy. That's this type of leadership. There's different type of leadership. Right now, they need, as you said, somebody that can really gather them together, galvanize them, and just, installing them this kind of fire that is missing in order for them to get on the other side. Do they have it? I think they have some, but it's all about accountability and taking responsibility. You can't shy away. That's where we know what you're made of and what's clearly your identity. So I'm still looking for that person to come out of his shell and really take his responsibility and bring the other with him.
Sebastian, a lot have been said about who should be the manager. We're obviously at Cheltenham right now, which is the biggest race meeting of the season, and Harry Redknapp has got a horse running, the jukebox man. You played under him. Do you think Harry Redknapp's style of management now would work on the modern day players? Because I think, nowadays they get drilled with information, stats and whatever. Would Harry's style help the team now?
Over a course of a whole season, I don't think so. I think Harry would be very useful in some part of the season to deal with some particular situations, especially with the way he is. Because don't get me wrong, he's not going to change himself. His experience is getting older. But I think the way he used to manage us, it was really man management. He used to put a lot of responsibility onto us, because he had these skills to pick up good players and good men in order to play amongst each other. So I think nowadays, Harry could be very helpful, but I don't think over the course of a season.
Interesting, very interesting. Sebastian, what about Newcastle United then? Look, Newcastle, they say, are the richest club in the world now. They can't spend it because of rules. I look at the table now, they're down in 12th. Newcastle, they're better than that. And the fans are expecting better than that. What about tonight? This is, for me, a classic game. Barcelona pushing up high line. Newcastle with the pace up front to get in behind them. How does tonight go, Sebastian?
Do you want me to be honest, biased? Because if I want to be biased...
Be honest, you're going to say Barcelona, aren't you?
No. Honestly, I think Newcastle, because he's at St. James's Park, I put so much emphasis on St. James's Park. Honestly, on a European night, on the Premier League level and a European night, Barcelona coming to St. James's Park, something special might happen simply because it's at home. So I really put a coin on Newcastle having a positive result. Barcelona being Barcelona, I think they can expect it. They know what to cut. But Newcastle has to give something to the fan. The players, even though it hasn't been easy for them, they've done well considering. But now it's the cherry on the cake. It's gonna be fire tonight. I wish I could be at St. James's Park, because it's gonna be, I think, a game to remember for the Newcastle fan and for the players.
Sebastian, what does Eddie do about this superstar, this youngster? I love watching him, Yamal. Does he have a special plan for Yamal?
If you put a special plan for Yamal, I think you're going to free up other players. And they got a bunch of good and amazing players. So you just got to take it as it comes. Yamal is one player. You got to put your own players, in the best way, shape, or form in order to bring the A game. Yeah, obviously, it's going to be a very tough game. Yamal is on fire. He's a special kid. But you shouldn't underestimate the others. And if you do focus too much on one player, he's going to take all the attention, and that's going to unbalance your team. I think Eddie Howe knows what he's doing. That's what they're playing for. You want to face Lamine Yamal. You want to test yourself to this level. And regardless how the game goes, at least you got to give it a go. So give it a go the same way you would have given it a go against a top Premier League team, and see what happens.
Interesting, Sebastian. Very, very interesting to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the football tonight. I don't know if you're into racing, if you're watching on telly. Have a nice time, and fingers crossed for your two old clubs, Spurs and Newcastle. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
guys.
Sebastian.
Very welcome. Right, don't forget Adrian Dunham will be at St James's Park tonight. The atmosphere will be rocking. Soaking up a fantastic night before throwing live commentary Atletico Madrid against Tottenham as well. Wow. Get your calls into the sports bar from 10 o'clock.